met each other through church, and we were just, friends. He was this kind of tall, goofy guy that was just funny all the time. I just thought that's what he was.
But when I really started getting to know Kelsey was when I started going to a small group through our church.
At Bible study, I started realizing that he was kind of serious, that he did have a walk with the Lord. But I didn't, think anything was going on, that there was any sort of chemistry.
Heard about a trip that she'd taken during the summer. She spent a summer in Beirut, Lebanon, and just really was impressed with what God had been doing in her life. And I really been just praying about if God would have me pursue a relationship with her.
He walked me out to the car, and, I'm like, thanks so much. And I'm like turning to close the door, and he kind of stops the door, and he's like, so, what are you doing tomorrow night? And I was kind of, like, why is he asking this? And I said, well, I'm babysitting my niece and nephew. I
really just felt like, man, I've got to do this now, or it's going to get harder the longer I wait. So I said, well, what are you doing after you babysit?
I immediately called my roommate, and I said, Robin, this guy I think he asked me out on a date. I don't have a clue what I just got myself into. He came and he had flowers, and he was in a suit. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is the real deal. Guys don't just put invitations on doors and bring flowers and wear suits, and so I was very impressed.
We headed off to Bahama Breeze and just spent a great evening together.
There's a reason why I asked you out on this evening of enjoyment. I wanted to know if you would consider dating me, and he went into this great detail about that he'd been praying about it, and he had talked to his family about it, and they were praying as well.
But she laid out some ground rules for me and said, well, these are some things that I want you to agree to.
I was very stern with him, and I just said, I won't even consider dating you unless you meet the requirements. And I laughed because I was really stern with him.
She said, you definitely need to be a man who leads.
The goal of our relationship will be to honor God. And I said, if you're not interested in honoring God in our relationship, I'm not even going to pray about it.
So I think she felt like she was being a little harsh, but those were all things I wanted to do anyway. So I said, well, I can definitely agree to that. She said, well, I'm going to pray about it, and I'll let you know.
I called his old roommates, his roommates now. I found out who this guy was, and a week later, which was January 30th, was the beginning of, I don't know what I got myself into, to I can't wait to see where this is going to go.
We spent the evening praying together in the group that we pray with on Sunday nights. And after that point in time, we went out to the car and we're just chatting. And I was just like, well, what's the deal? What's the answer going to be here?
So we started our courtship then, and he was nothing but a prince from that point forward.
As time went along, it was just really amazing how God drew us together. We found more and more things that we had in common, more and more things that were different, that I really wanted to spend the rest of my life with Kelsey. It was probably about 3 months into our relationship. And so I'd really just been praying that God would give me direction and wisdom to know if I should continue to pursue this relationship. I didn't want to be wasting our time if that wasn't where God wanted us.
The engagement story, I guess, was a total shock to me.
And God had prepared a girl that was absolutely perfect for me. And He didn't leave anything out. And it was just amazing to see that, far more than I ever would have expected.
Part of guarding my heart was just not believing that day was going to happen. I just could not depend on the fact that we were going to get engaged, because that may not have been the Lord's will.
I'm going to go to Colorado, where my grandma has a log home, and we'll be able to just have a great time of relaxation, time to get away, and just really enjoy being together.
All my friends, my girlfriends were, he's going to propose, that's what's going to happen. No, it's a retreat, and we're just going away, because he had been overseas for the summer, so I thought we're going to be able to catch up. That's what this is going to be. September
9th was when we left to go. We flew out from Oklahoma City and flew into Montrose, Colorado. And so I got up pretty early that morning. I was fairly nervous. I was really nervous.
And then we decided to go on this hike, and he was just very weird. He was very weird the whole hike.
I had this plan that we were going to go up to a meadow that I had spent a bunch of time in my years growing up.
He said, go over this meadow and sit over there and wait on me. So I did, I was just soaking up the sun, enjoying life.
And so I sat across from her, and just spent some time just really sharing with her some of the things that have meant a lot to me and that mean a lot to me about her.
Just that he really looked forward to spending the rest of his life with me, and I would interrupt.
And she didn't really get it at that point in time. It was still kind of not sinking in with her. And
he'd say, no, I really do love and care, and I would interrupt and just keep, the conversation going. He said, no, I really do want to spend the rest of my life with you.
And pull out the ring box and say, and got down on one knee and said,
I would be so honored if you would be my wife. And I really had guarded my heart for so long. I had no idea this was coming. And I think my jaw dropped. And
it's a very long moment, and probably wasn't all that long, but she was kind of looking around the meadow and just kind of taking everything in.
I mean, obviously looking at this ring that he designed for me, and then I realized I didn't say yes. And so I'm like, oh, yes, I do.
What really takes my breath away about Kelsey is just honestly seeing her. When I walk into a room and just see her smile and see how her face just lights up, yeah, it's really exciting to see.
He really, really loves the Lord. And he, in the progression of loving the Lord and learning to love the Lord and being loved by the Lord, he's been shown how to love me. And he just loves me so unconditionally and so well.
She genuinely desires to please God, and she desires to walk with God. And she also desires to really love other people. And it's very apparent.
He rescues me every day. He's my knight in shining armor.
She's real, that she will be honest, and she really will speak exactly what she's feeling, and she lets me know that.
When you get this package of a tall, handsome, intelligent, humorous man that loves you, and I don't know why. I mean, that's the thing, I just don't understand why he loves me, but he does. And then I see him walk with the Lord and want to lead. Some ways that Kelsey and I have really seen God leading us are in the direction of really serving God overseas. As we want to be obedient to the Lord wherever he calls us, whatever he wants us to do. Both of us have spent time overseas, and something that we've both been very impressed with is the fact that there are so many people that are so confused and have really no idea about who Jesus is. And so I wouldn't be surprised if we're someplace crazy, someplace perhaps a little dangerous. Is go to a place where we can share the gospel with people. And so whether that's here in the U.S. or whether that's overseas, that's our desire. Well, we want to thank you so much for celebrating this very special day with us. And it has been an honor to have each of you as a part of my life. We love all of you guys, and we're so grateful you came to be a part of this. It's been so amazing to see the way that God has used each of you in my life to grow me and bring me to the place that he has me today. Above all, we thank you for your daily prayers, your prayers before all of this happened, your prayers that have been a part of making this happen and sustaining this. And I look forward to your continued involvement and your continued prayers. Thanks again for being here.